In this podcast episode, Stephen Bartlett shares 17 raw lessons about human nature. The first lesson he discusses is the importance of the frame in storytelling. He explains that the frame, or context, in which something is presented can greatly impact how it is perceived. He gives the example of the Apple Store, where the space given to each product creates a sense of value and exclusivity. Bartlett also talks about how the frame can influence taste and perception. He mentions a study where people rated Coca-Cola higher when it was presented in a can compared to when it was presented in a blind taste test. This shows that the frame in which something is presented can affect our perception of its value and quality. The second lesson Bartlett shares is that we do not get to choose what we believe. He explains that our beliefs are largely based on the evidence we have acquired throughout our lives, whether it is through our own experiences or from trusted authority figures. Changing our beliefs requires encountering new evidence that contradicts our existing beliefs. He also discusses the power of hypnosis in changing beliefs. He shares his own experience of being hypnotized and how it allowed him to see a different interpretation of a past event, which in turn changed his belief about it. Bartlett emphasizes the importance of seeking new evidence and putting ourselves in situations where our existing beliefs can be challenged. The third lesson Bartlett discusses is the importance of keeping commitments to ourselves. He explains that self-esteem and self-respect are closely tied to our ability to keep our word and follow through on our commitments. He encourages listeners to start with small commitments and gradually build up to larger ones, as keeping commitments to ourselves is a powerful way to build self-confidence and trust in ourselves. Bartlett also talks about the difference between practitioners and parrots. Practitioners are those who deeply immerse themselves in their craft and continuously strive to improve and innovate. They have a deep understanding of their field and are able to create new and original work. Parrots, on the other hand, simply regurgitate what they have learned from others without truly understanding or practicing it themselves. He emphasizes the importance of being a practitioner and going deep into a subject, rather than just skimming the surface. He believes that true creativity and innovation come from a deep understanding and mastery of a subject. Bartlett also discusses the curse of knowledge and how it can hinder creativity and innovation. When we become experts in a subject, we often lose the ability to see things from a beginner's perspective, which can limit our ability to come up with new ideas. He encourages listeners to maintain a learner's mindset and to constantly seek out new ideas and perspectives. Bartlett continues by questioning the extent to which personal development is a result of our own efforts or simply a byproduct of getting older. He suggests that wisdom often comes with age and is acquired naturally over time, rather than being solely a result of intentional personal development efforts. One of the key takeaways from the discussion is the importance of execution over strategy. Bartlett emphasizes that it is easier to strategize than to actually execute plans. He mentions the concept of being a real operator, someone who takes charge and gets things done, as a valuable trait in personal development. Bartlett introduces the concept of the discipline equation, which he suggests can help understand why some areas of life are more disciplined than others. The equation consists of the importance of the goal, the psychological enjoyment of pursuing the goal, and the psychological cost of the pursuit. By evaluating these factors, individuals can assess their level of discipline in different areas of their lives. He also discusses the concept of being driven versus being dragged by pain and insecurity. Bartlett suggests that many people are motivated by pain and insecurity, which can fuel their ambition and drive. However, he warns that while this can be effective in the short term, it may not lead to long-term happiness. He encourages individuals to examine their motivations and ensure they are pursuing goals that align with their intrinsic values. Bartlett emphasizes the importance of focusing on the process and the small details. He cites the slight edge concept, which highlights the compounding effect of small actions over time. By paying attention to the small things and making incremental improvements, individuals can achieve significant gains in various aspects of their lives. He also discusses the concept of the lonely chapter, a period in personal development where individuals feel isolated and different from their old social circles. Bartlett suggests that this phase is necessary for growth and transformation, but it can be challenging and uncomfortable. He advises individuals to embrace this phase and seek out new connections and communities that align with their new goals and values. Bartlett stresses the importance of longevity and sustainability in personal and professional endeavors. He suggests designing systems and processes that can withstand the test of time and adapt to changing circumstances. He also emphasizes the value of retaining talent and cultivating a strong culture within an organization. He goes on to highlight the significance of sweating the small stuff and paying attention to the details. Bartlett believes that focusing on the smallest aspects of a task or project can lead to significant improvements and create a sense of progress and momentum. He cites research that shows the psychological impact of making small gains and experiencing a sense of progress. He also talks about the power of compounding and how small decisions can have a compounding effect on different areas of life. Bartlett uses the example of Warren Buffett and his obsession with compounding returns. He emphasizes the need to focus on the small stuff and make continuous course corrections to achieve long-term success. Bartlett discusses the concept of pressure as a privilege and how pressure can lead to growth and success. He mentions that discomfort is often the driving force behind motivation and that avoiding discomfort can hinder personal growth. He encourages embracing pressure and using it as a catalyst for progress. The podcast also delves into the topic of procrastination and how it is often driven by the avoidance of discomfort. Bartlett shares his insights on why people procrastinate and suggests that understanding the underlying discomfort can help counteract it. He also highlights the importance of self-awareness in identifying the forces that push and pull us. Bartlett shares his thoughts on the scrutiny and pressure that come with having a large platform. He discusses the need to limit feedback and focus on personal principles and goals. He draws inspiration from Joe Rogan's approach to handling fame and emphasizes the importance of keeping a small circle of trusted individuals for feedback. The conversation then shifts to the concept of deep expertise and how it can lead to rigidity. Bartlett explains that being too knowledgeable about a specific field can hinder innovation and agility. He emphasizes the importance of thinking from first principles and avoiding the limitations imposed by deep expertise. Bartlett also reflects on the limitations we impose on ourselves through labels and the importance of resisting these labels. He encourages individuals to define themselves beyond specific roles or titles and to focus on their core values and interests. He shares his own experience of resisting labels and pursuing various endeavors outside of his comfort zone. The podcast continues with a discussion on the importance of finding the right market for one's skills. Bartlett shares examples of individuals who have found success by selling their skills in markets where there is low supply and high demand. He emphasizes the need to identify industries where one's skills can yield the greatest returns and to be open to exploring different markets. Bartlett then shares his experience of moving to America and feeling exotic despite speaking the same language. He reflects on the idea that people can be considered exotic in certain contexts, even if they are not fundamentally different from others. He also notes that being in the right market can make a significant difference in how one's talent is valued and rewarded. He introduces the concept of mono-thinking, which refers to the tendency to explain multiple phenomena with the same answer. He criticizes those who blame capitalism for various issues such as war, poverty, and pollution, arguing that this kind of thinking is simplistic and limits one's ability to understand complex problems. He believes that adopting a cookie-cutter ideology and not thinking for oneself leads to predictability and unreliability. Bartlett discusses the challenges of being a nonconformist and not fitting into a specific group or ideology. He explains that people who don't adhere to a specific ideology are often seen as uncommitted and unreliable by both sides. He emphasizes the importance of being able to hold contradictory thoughts and being open to different perspectives, even if they challenge one's sense of identity. He highlights the role of conformity in human psychology and the comfort that comes from belonging to a group. He suggests that the fear of being different and the desire for conformity can prevent people from exploring their true potential and finding their own tribe. He encourages individuals to embrace their unique strengths and seek out the market where their skills are most valued. Bartlett introduces the idea of following people and consuming content that one disagrees with. He believes that exposing oneself to different perspectives can be illuminating and help challenge one's own beliefs. He shares his own experience of listening to podcasts and reading content that he wouldn't normally agree with, but finds valuable in gaining insight into different viewpoints. He discusses the fragility of beliefs and the tendency to protect one's identity by rejecting ideas that contradict one's worldview. He suggests that being able to tolerate cognitive dissonance and hold contradictory thoughts is a sign of strength and open-mindedness. He believes that the ability to sit with dissonance and interrogate ideas for their merits is a characteristic of great thinkers. Bartlett reflects on the impact of fame and success on one's sense of self. He shares Louis Capaldi's experience of feeling pressure and anxiety as his career took off, and how fame changes the way people treat you. He emphasizes the importance of staying true to one's principles and instincts, even in the face of external pressures. He argues that failing at something one believes in is better than succeeding at something that goes against one's instincts. He concludes by discussing the importance of creating content and products that resonate with oneself and one's closest friends. He suggests that focusing on one's instincts and values is key to creating meaningful and impactful work. He encourages individuals to embrace failure and take risks in pursuit of their true passions. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe.